Huntsville, Alabama, a city built on ambition, where dreams are crafted from grit, charm, and quiet competition. But behind every success story lies a shadow, and in Huntsville, those shadows are growing darker by the day. For years, whispers have circled the world of love and marriage, Huntsville. Whispers about loyalty, business, and the blurred line between image and reality. And at the center of those whispers stands one man, Marsau Scott. To the public, Marsau was the picture of confidence, a sharp businessman, a devoted husband, a man whose success story was televised and celebrated. But to those who knew him beyond the spotlight, there was always something deeper, something unsaid. And after years of silence, one woman has finally decided to pull back the curtain. Stormi Steele, the woman who built her empire brick by brick, is no longer holding back. What she's about to reveal could shatter the foundation of everything Marsau has built, and the entire city is watching. Because this isn't just another reality TV feud. This is about truth, betrayal, and the moment when silence turns into fire. Stormi Steele has unmasked Marsau Scott, and what she's revealed has Huntsville reeling. Stormi Steele's rise was never smooth. Long before the bright lights and Bravo cameras, she was a dreamer with little more than faith and determination. From mixing hair products in her kitchen to launching Canvas Beauty, she built everything from nothing. Her story inspired countless women who saw their own struggles in her journey. Stormi didn't inherit power, she created it. But with success came scrutiny. When she joined Love and Marriage, Huntsville, she walked into a world already tangled in alliances and rivalries. At first, she tried to stay neutral, the calm presence in a storm of drama. Yet even from the sidelines, she noticed how easily some people manipulated narratives, how image could outweigh integrity. Marsau Scott, in particular, fascinated her. He had charm, that smooth, confident energy that could win over a room. On the surface, he was the ideal businessman. But there was something about his energy, the subtle arrogance behind the smile, that unsettled her. The way he spoke about women in business, polite, but patronizing. The way he joked about others' success, as if no one could truly rival him. At first, Stormi brushed it off. Reality TV thrives on personalities, and Marsau had one of the biggest. But as she grew closer to the industry, she started hearing stories, quiet ones. Rumors whispered by people who had worked with him, people who claimed Marsau's charm was just a mask hiding something much more complicated. And as months passed, those whispers started to sound more like warnings. It began subtly, a comment here, a dig there. Marsau would praise Stormi in public, calling her a hustler, a strong black woman, but the undertone was always faintly mocking. To outsiders, it seemed harmless. To Stormi, it felt like an attempt to discredit her, to reduce her years of work into something accidental. Still, she stayed quiet. She focused on her business, her family, her peace. But silence, as she would later admit, only gives liars more room to build their stories. Then came the turning point. During a private event for Love and Marriage, Huntsville, a conversation behind the scenes shifted everything. Stormi overheard Marsau joking with a group of men, laughing about influencers who think they're CEOs and women who let their husbands handle the real work. It wasn't just disrespectful, it was personal. Because Stormi had fought too hard to have her success dismissed by someone hiding behind a TV smile. That moment changed her. She started watching him closely, not as a castmate, but as a woman observing a pattern. His public image didn't match the private whispers. The man preaching integrity seemed to be living a double life. The more she learned, the more the pieces fell into place. Business partners who claimed unpaid invoices. Former employees who spoke about promises broken. And then the messages. Screenshots shared quietly among insiders, pointing toward personal entanglements Marsau had worked hard to keep off camera. Stormi didn't rush to expose him. She waited. She listened. She built her case quietly, methodically, until the truth was undeniable. For years, fans speculated about Marsau's loyalty, not just to his wife, Tisha, but to the people who trusted him. He always laughed it off, deflecting with humor, turning serious questions into punchlines. But behind that laughter was fear. Because the things he'd buried were finally starting to surface. Stormi's decision to speak wasn't impulsive. It came after years of watching him manipulate situations, gaslighting others, shifting blame, and maintaining control through charm. When she finally went live, the internet held its breath. "It's funny," she began, her voice calm but sharp, "how some people love to talk about loyalty while living the opposite of it." The moment those words left her lips, social media exploded. People knew exactly who she was referring to. The blogs lit up. Fans dissected every sentence, every pause, every expression. Stormi didn't drop names she didn't have to. Her audience knew. Over the next few minutes, she started painting a picture not with wild accusations, but with pointed truths. She spoke about business deals that didn't add up, projects that vanished, and people who had been used and discarded. Her words cut through the polished facade Marsau had built. "Some people love to act like bosses," she continued, "but when the truth comes out, you'll see who was really in control and who was just pretending." The internet erupted. Screenshots started circulating, voice notes surfaced, and a pattern began to emerge. The man who built his brand on integrity had cracks in his foundation, cracks Stormi had just exposed to the world. What made Stormi's reveal so powerful wasn't the drama, it was the precision. She didn't scream. She didn't insult. She spoke with calm authority, letting the truth carry its own weight. And that calmness scared Marsau more than anything. Behind the scenes, panic spread. Marsau's team scrambled to control the narrative. Statements were drafted, alliances were tested, and calls were made to production. But the damage was done. Once the truth starts leaking, there's no stopping the flood. Old acquaintances began reaching out to Stormi, confirming her claims. One former contractor described Marsau's habit of using small businesses for work, then refusing to pay in full. Another revealed text messages showing questionable after-hours meetings that blurred the line between business and pleasure. The receipts were piling up. As the internet dissected every detail, Marsau went quiet. No jokes, no interviews, no posts. His silence only fueled speculation. And when he finally did speak, it was too late. "I don't have time for gossip," he said during a podcast appearance. "People love to use my name for attention." But this time, the audience wasn't buying it. Stormi wasn't just another influencer chasing clout. She had proof and a reputation built on honesty. Her supporters rallied around her, while Marsau's once loyal fans began questioning everything they thought they knew. Behind closed doors, the fallout was brutal. Marsau's business faced scrutiny, clients backed out of contracts, and the whispers about financial mismanagement grew louder. His once polished image began to crumble, piece by piece. Stormi never gloated. She didn't need to. Her truth had spoken for itself. In interviews afterward, she remained composed. "When you know your worth," she said, "you stop letting people diminish your story just to protect their lies." But that calm exterior hid a deeper pain, not for herself, but for the community that had been deceived. Stormi had believed in the vision of love and marriage, Huntsville, a show meant to celebrate Black excellence, family, and entrepreneurship. Instead, she had watched it turn into a web of manipulation, where truth was twisted to protect egos. Her decision to unmask Marsau wasn't just about personal vindication. It was about accountability. About showing that no amount of fame or money could hide the truth forever. Then came the moment that sealed Marsau's downfall. A leaked audio clip surfaced online, allegedly a conversation between Marsau and a former associate. In the clip, a man's voice bragged about keeping receipts on everyone and manipulating contracts to stay ahead of the game. The internet went wild. Fans compared the voice to Marsau's interviews, and the similarities were undeniable. Stormi didn't comment publicly, but her silence spoke volumes. The blogs did the rest. Within hours, the clip trended nationwide. Hashtags like Marsau exposed and Stormi was right flooded social media. Huntsville became the center of a digital firestorm. Sponsors quietly distanced themselves, and producers were forced to confront the fallout. Marsau tried to spin the story, claiming the clip was edited, taken out of context. But by then, the public's trust was gone. His empire, both personal and professional, was unraveling. The scandal revealed more than just Marsau's secrets, it exposed the toxic culture of silence that had protected him for years. People who once defended him began speaking out. Former associates confirmed patterns of deceit. Even castmates, once loyal, started keeping their distance. Stormi's bravery had created a ripple effect. Others began reclaiming their voices, sharing stories of how they'd been dismissed, gaslighted, or silenced. The truth had opened a floodgate, and there was no going back. For Stormi, it wasn't about revenge. It was about justice, about freeing herself and others from the fear of speaking truth to power. She had watched too many people suffer in silence, too many reputations destroyed by manipulation. Now, she had turned that silence into strength. And while the world debated Marsau's fate, Stormi kept building. She doubled down on her business, re-centered her energy, and reminded her followers that integrity will always outlast influence. As the dust began to settle, Marsau's empire looked very different. The polished image was gone. The confidence replaced by visible tension. Public appearances grew rare. The man who once loved being in the spotlight now avoided it at all costs. And for many watching, that was the most shocking part. Not just that he'd been exposed, but that the mask had finally slipped, revealing a man who had built his reputation on deception.